Welcome to our third week in the series we call In the Dugout, a weekly segment here on State Champs where we talk with a baseball head coach from the great state of Michigan. Joining me today in studio is the head coach at Trenton, but he's a man of many hats. Coach Todd Szalka is also the president of the Michigan High School Baseball Coaches Association. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Second time here.
Yeah.
Next time I'll have a private lounge. I'll have my own jacket. It'll be great.
That's right. We'll have to get that three-timer club and grow up from there. Tell me, and for people who maybe would be curious, what's the primary responsibility as the head of the MHSBCA?
It's just to make sure that everything that the Michigan High School Baseball Coaches Association does goes smoothly. Kind of a manager of many different positions that are a part of the board, and just make sure that everything that we're doing is meeting the needs of our coaches and helping promote baseball around the state of Michigan.
Yeah, I had a great conversation with Adam Woolley last week, head coach at Madison Heights Lanphier, who does our podcast. And he was just talking, he's been doing this for a long time now. And just the fraternity, the great kind of group of guys that you have all over the state, coaching baseball.
Absolutely. I mean, we have a text message chain going.
Right.
And we're constantly throwing ideas out, asking questions. So it's kind of good that you have different people that are doing the same thing that you're doing. They're experiencing some of the successes, some of the failures that you are, and you've got people to bounce ideas off of and get things going in the right direction.
It is awesome that we have high school baseball going again. You mentioned that Trenton was going to be involved in a possible four-site tournament with 8 teams from around the state at the beginning of May. What's that all about?
It's something that we've been doing for a number of years now. The one on May 1st will be a memorial tournament for Bob Crescent, who was a 40-plus year coach at Trenton for the Trenton High School baseball program. Southgate will be a site host. Woodhaven will be a site host. Flat Rock will be a site host. Trenton will be a site host. And then we're bringing in teams like Lance Cruz, Frankenmuth, Utica Ford, and then we're still looking for a fourth team to bring in. Usually it's a 3-site, and it's just a round robin, but since the MHSAA came out with different guidelines for contacts, we had to change our format. It'll be a double, we call it a switch site doubleheader.
All right, so this is an opportunity to talk to the people. So you say you're looking for a team. If a team is interested in playing, how should they reach out?
If you're interested in playing in our tournament on May 1st, go ahead and reach out to Coach Szalka, that's SZALKA @gmail.com.
All right. One of the best things about high school sports are rivalries. We do an entire series called State Champs Rivals. Now, Trenton and Woodhaven, just 5 miles apart. There's a heavily anticipated matchup next week featuring your Trojans and the Warriors. If it works out, 2 fireballers on the mound that are both going to Michigan State. It is not uncommon for a veritable plethora of scouts to be at your game when Micah Ottenbright is on the mound. Woodhaven's Ryan Shepaniak is another guy who throws in the 90s. Sounds like a great matchup.
Oh, it is. A lot of people don't know, back in, I think it was the late 60s, Trenton had the opportunity to acquire the land that is Woodhaven.
Oh, I did not know that.
And they did not do so at that time. And then maybe a few years later, Woodhaven's formed their own school district. So at that point in time, a natural rivalry was born. I'm a Woodhaven grad. I now teach in Trenton and live in Trenton, but I mean that rivalry is intermixed in between our communities, and we look forward to it every year.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of people out there. Should be great. In fact, we're looking at doing our In the Dugout next week, kind of around that game and that atmosphere. What do you like about your team this year?
Starts and ends with pitching, yes. And we've got Mike Ottenbright, a phenomenal kid all around, work ethic off the charts, what he brings to the team, and what he does with the community. I mean, sometimes I'll go by fields over by my house and he'll be out working with some of the youth. That's what we want. Ricky Kidd, another one of our pitchers. Just the other day on Monday, Micah and Ricky combined for an 11-inning no-hitter over Wyandotte, which we won 5-0. Phenomenal game there. Hats off to Wyandotte. We've had some underclassmen, and I think everyone's going through this. They don't know what they're going to have because we were off for a year. They were freshmen, and now they're juniors. So we've had a couple of juniors in Matt Cheatham and Brock Boudry who have really come through with the bat so far for us. And then our senior, Al Shahowski is just a terror on the bases. So it's been an absolute joy to coach these guys so far.
And just speaking of absolute joy, just for these kids to get back and play again. I mean, I'm sure, they probably didn't even think it was real until you finally suited up and got on the diamond and went after it against somebody else.
Absolutely. It's kind of been difficult to see if that's the reason, or we got a brand new field.
That helps.
So it's they were giddy from the get-go and ready to go.
I want to thank the president of the Michigan High School Baseball Coaches Association, Todd Szalka, for joining me today. It was Todd that really advocated for this 2-year partnership with state champs. We will be live streaming the Baseball All-Star Game this year, so we look forward to that. And for more high school baseball insight, go listen to the State Champs Extra Inning podcast with Adam Woolley and Rob Mendyka. They had Juan Sanchez, the head coach at Detroit Western, on this week's show. And you can find it wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google Play. It's all there. Thanks for coming in.
All right.